Here we are going to talk about Chapter 9, Section 2, Mechanical Advantage. So when you use a machine, it does not decrease the amount of work that you have to do or the amount of energy that you get out of it. What it does is it decreases the force you need to do to make that work happen. What ends up happening, though, is since you're going to need less force, you have to apply your force over a greater distance. In summary, simple machines allow you to use less force, but you have to apply that force over a greater distance to get the work done. So for example, to get this bike onto the back of a truck, you have to move this greater distance, but at a nice easy force. The shorter distance would be just lifting it straight up into the truck, but that would require a greater force. We can actually calculate how much a machine multiplies our force. We call this mechanical advantage, and it's the ratio of the output force to the input force. In other words, the amount of weight that the machine lifts compared to the amount of force that you apply to the machine. The end result you get, which is called mechanical advantage, tells you how many times a machine multiplies your force. It has no units and it cannot be zero. We can calculate it using either forces or distances, and we'll give some examples of those. Here's an example using forces. The output force is the force that the machine is lifting the object. In this case, it's 10 newtons. The input force is the force that you supply to make the machine work. In this case, it's 5 newtons. You simply divide them. 10 over 5 gives you a mechanical advantage of 2. In other words, this device is multiplying your input force by 2. Here's a couple different examples as well, all with pulleys. Here we have an output force of 10 and an input force of 5, and so the mechanical advantage is 2. Here you've got an output force of 15 and an input force of 5, so the mechanical advantage is 3. Output force of 20, input force still of 5, the mechanical advantage is 4. And if you look carefully, you'll notice the difference between each of these pulley setups is how many times the string is wrapped around.